Oklahoma. My name is John Gray, and I'm still just plain living.
I'm so glad you're back, John Gray. I'm Peggy Burton. I've been missing John.
You didn't know whether I was living or not?
I thought you'd crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
No, I hadn't crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
I'm glad you're back.
If I crossed the Rainbow Bridge, somebody probably have something to say about it because it's a rainbow.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, so, oh, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that.
There's always something. There's always
People are getting fired these days for saying what they want to say.
People are getting fired for saying what they want to say. So I'm almost afraid to say I had a mother.
You did? I thought you were hatched. You always talk about the farm.
I have a problem with that one, you know.
Oh, Lordy.
Mom or dad or whatever. I see nothing wrong with that.
We're not going to get into that for fear of making somebody upset.
No, I don't
you know, we just all need to remember this is a free country, and that means free speech, and you should be able to say what you want to say without being put in jail for it. So there's different kind of jails now. There's monetary jail. Say what you want to say, lose your job.
Oh, okay. And that's monetary jail?
Well, you lose your paycheck.
Well, yeah, I see
That's jail.
that's a great form of jail.
That's jail.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. Hey, let me tell you something.
Tell it.
3 weeks ago, yesterday, I had a hip replaced.
I know, and I'm just so glad it's 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, me too.
Today.
I've been struggling through that, and it was my second hip. I had left hip, and I've had a little bit more trouble with this one than I did the other one, I think. And the reason I say I think is because the drugs they give you, I really don't know how bad it hurt last time. I don't remember.
Yeah, you don't remember a thing.
You can't remember that. But I've had a little bit more swelling this time and had a couple of things that needed to be done. But the hip feels good, and I have some other issues. That,
and you've been back to be checked, and the doctor.
Yeah, went back to get checked, and I'm going to introduce somebody to you right now. He's right back here.
Oh, okay.
I've named him Vic DeVac.
Vic DeVac.
This is a wound vacuum.
It takes the infection out.
Infection out, and when they opened up my, pull the tape off of my scar. You will never imagine this. I'm thin-skinned.
Oh, thin-skinned.
In one way, my skin
does that mean
is thin.
They ripped your skin?
Well,
sort of?
Even when I was a young man and had surgery on my shoulder playing football in high school, and they put tape on me, within 2 days I had big Easter egg blisters underneath. So when they put the tape on the incision, the patch, the thing to keep it dry and all that, they use a specific type of tape. Well, when it came off, it took a bunch of skin off, my skin off with it. And so my incision looked good, but they were afraid that might become infected. And when you have surgery, any kind of surgery, but bone stuff, orthopedic stuff, that's the biggest fear, is not whether the piece gets in there right, it's whether infection gets. The worst thing that happens is infection.
So they put you on antibiotics?
They put me on antibiotics, but they had me go to the wound center, and that's where I was introduced to Vic DeVac, right here, and they put him on me. How long do you have to wear that? And hopefully, I had that on last Thursday.
Until the infection is gone?
Supposed to go back this Thursday, and hopefully it will be. It was just a little small rip, about that long, but it was a rip.
Still, it just gives me.
And so, what's funny, I'm gonna have a good time no matter what.
Good.
I was in there with the wound people, and I said, look, they're afraid this won't heal. Don't y'all have a railroad spike that you can throw in a fire and get it red hot, and let me just put it on there and cauterize it?
Yeah.
And that woman said, oh my goodness, it'd leave you a scar. And I said, a scar down here? I'm 72 years old. You think I'm going to put a thong on and go to the beach again? I don't think so.
Those poor people.
But
putting up with you, John.
But she said, no, we need to do this, and they were very nice about it, very professional. Vic is with me 24/7, and he makes noise.
Oh, he does.
Grunts. He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk, but he grunts.
Ouch.
And if he gets upset, he goes, and that means he's backing, I guess.
Did you get all your clocks changed?
Got all my clocks changed.
That was the first thing I did, was get all my clocks changed. And I got over it in a couple of days. At first it bothers me a lot. Does it bother you a lot?
That's something else that I'd like to have a issue about, is leave it alone.
Yeah. Me too.
We don't have farmers' kids getting up in the morning anymore to plow and do what they do, and kids. It was all changed about kids going to school or coming home from school in the dark.
Yeah.
Kids don't walk to school anymore.
No,
very few of them do.
Very few do, and
so
anyway.
Put it somewhere. Put it like it is right now, and leave it alone.
Did you like the Grammys?
Did I like the Grammys? I turned the Grammys off. I thought the Grammys was pretty much insulting.
I thought so.
It was trashy.
I didn't watch it. I was surfing channels, and then I just didn't watch it. But I did look up Taylor Swift's song, and I thought she had a good song.
She won Album of the Year, which was
Taylor
amazing.
Swift did a good job, but there was some stuff on the show that
and John Prine.
John
Prine won a couple of Grammys for the song he wrote about I'll Remember.
What bothers me about the Grammys is who it is the judge of talent.
Putting these shows together.
And music. Who decided that some of that trash is music? I'm sorry, people, that's the way I feel.
It's music, but I don't really think it's entertainment. But that's, again, people have their own opinion of what it is, and I love music. I'm a music writer. I've had songs recorded. I turned it off.
Yeah.
Just that simple. But let me tell you what, we've got a great show today. I'm glad to be back. We're a full show.
I'm glad you got spring.
Got flowers out. Easter's on the way. Spring, the flowers are blooming everywhere.
And
Enjoy.
Grass is up to my knees.
Grass is needing to be mowed, and it rains where you can't mow it. Welcome to spring in Middle Tennessee. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental health care needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm happy to have Loretta Christian on the set with me today. She's here and she's all about horses and horseplay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ride in today on your horse?
No, ma'am. I drove on a little Echo Sport.
Oh, okay.
It's got four-wheel drive, so if I came onto a rough road, I could just put it in four-wheel drive.
Well, good. So you're safe. Well, I know you've got all kind of events happening at horseplay, and if for people don't know what horseplay is, here's a picture. Horseplay is on Highway 130, just off of 130.
It's
tell
the physical
what it's
location
for.
is 815 West Side Drive, and that's on Highway 130 as you're going out Tullahoma towards Winchester on the back road. And what we do is we offer therapeutical horseback riding therapy for boys and girls who have challenges. And we have 60 plus students that come to ride at horseplay.
For free.
They ride for free. Their parents never have to pay us a penny. And the reason we can do this is because we work off of donations, sponsorships, and fundraisers. And we've got a bunch of them
I
this
read
year.
about the egg hunt. That's coming up pretty soon, isn't it? Or whatever it is you're doing with eggs.
We're having the Egg My Yard again this year. Last year was the first time we did it. And what you do is you can go on Horseplay's Facebook page, and we have, to find out the information about it, what you do is you fill out an application, and you need to do it before the 20th of this month, and we have a discount on it. Horseplay volunteers go and they hide Easter eggs at people's houses that or donate $30 for 2 dozen eggs and $60 for 5 dozen eggs. And we fill them up with treats and little things that...
And you bury them or hide
they're
hide
in plastic.
them.
They're in plastic.
Yeah, but you hide them in the yard around.
We hide them in their front
So if you have
yard.
children and you don't have time to fool with that, that's a real good deal.
Yeah. We hide them
wake up and
between
they're there.
9 o'clock or 9:30 to 12 o'clock on Saturday night before Easter. And all the houses have to be within city limits. And the next morning, the boys and girls get up and they get to go out into their front yard and hunt Easter eggs.
And they don't know where they came from.
No, they
It's a
don't. The
secret.
Easter Bunny left them. And
That's great.
It's fun for the children. And you can go on Horseplay Incorporated at gmail.com and fill out your application, and you'll be contacted, and you tell how many children is in the family that will be hunting the eggs and their ages. And so you can do that, or you can Facebook us, contact us on Facebook. And we are also having an open house in May.
When is that?
May the 15th. That's the Saturday after Mother's Day.
May the 15th.
And we're going to have refreshments, and we're going to have all types of information out there at our facility at 815 West Side Drive. And it's going to be from 2 to 4 o'clock. We're going to have people can look at the horses. they can see
And some
where
of the bricks, are some of the bricks in place?
No, ma'am. We're
okay.
going to mark off a spot. We're hoping by then we'll know exactly where the patio will be going.
But you can buy a brick if you happen to be out there.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to have.
And are they still $75 a piece?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
And you get 4 lines with the information that you want on your memorial brick, and we're going to fence or rope off the measurements of the patio so that people can get an idea how big it's going to be. And that's going to be on May the 15th.
But you've had a lot of things added. You've had new bathrooms.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Lots of new things, and it's pretty out there.
Yes, ma'am. And we've got office out there now and a storage building.
And did you tell me you had a new person in charge out there? Or is that in my brain? No.
We have a new program director,
Okay.
and that's Holly Holder.
Holly Holder.
And
all right.
we've got a young lady that's been nominated to be our volunteer coordinator.
We probably need to move ahead with your activities because we want to make sure everybody understands what all's going on and how much money you need.
Okay. And in April, we're also having our luncheon. It's going to be like it was last year, where you let us know how many tickets you want. And
again, you go that number that's on the screen.
Well, you can go there, or you can contact Top Rehab.
Oh, okay.
And they will give you information there about it, and it's going to be carry out only.
And where are y'all going to have
delivery?
Where will the place be that they
it's
pick
going to
it
be
up?
at Grace Baptist.
Grace Baptist,
on
okay.
Avoca Road again this year.
And how much are the lunches?
The lunches will be still $10 for
You
one.
can't beat it. A lot of food. I got lunch there, and I ate on it for 4 days.
And if I remember correctly, you get 12 lunches for $100.
And it's a wonderful deal.
That's a deal.
Invite your friends.
And
have a party.
if you order 5 or more lunches, you get it delivered to your workplace. And that's going to
wonderful,
be
yeah.
April the 24th.
It's such a good cause.
Yes, ma'am. And you can, like I said, you can call me, and I can give you information, or you can call, go online to
this number that's on the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am. You can call me, and I can, or you can go to horseplay.org and check out that web page and find the form about the luncheon.
Do you have another event you want to talk about? Because we only got 20 seconds.
Just these right here: the Egg My Yard, the open house, and the luncheon. Right now, I will be talking about more later.
You can come back another day because finally things are opening up, and finally people are going to be coming, and it's going to start to get easier, I believe. Thanks, Loretta. I'm sorry.
I forgot something. We're also having a walking horse show over in Shelbyville. That's going to be. Let's see.
Well, we'll talk.
It's going to be in July.
Okay, well, we can talk about that another time. Thanks for coming. We'll be back.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental health care needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello, folks. I'm back, and I'm glad to have my good friend Ava Lynch with me with Harton Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Harton.
Tullahoma.
Harton. Vanderbilt, Hospital. Tullahoma, yeah. Harton. You know, we've been with our hospital here through the stages from taking donations from the community to build it, from the Harton family giving the property, right, through being owned that way and then sold and a couple of times and this and that and the other. And now Vanderbilt has come to town, and yeah, I personally am excited about that.
We're excited.
And I'm sure you are. Yeah. I'm sure that
our employees, I think the community's been behind it.
100%. Yeah. Well, Vanderbilt is the name that in our area here and in the whole southeastern part of the United States is one of those names that people go, I'm going to Vanderbilt.
Well, and it's known all over the world as far as research.
Right, right.
You know, I think buildings.
Well, it's a pretty good school, too.
Well, that's what, you know, there are just so many pluses.
Yes.
By being actually owned by folks who are hands-on in the business.
Right.
You know,
right.
It makes a difference on their viewpoint on
how things are done. And how people are treated, even their employees.
Equipment updates, all the things that will be forthcoming, we're really excited about.
You know, it's hard for us builders and buyers of FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, who put these buildings and properties and restaurants and hotels together, to realize that everything we do to create this institution is only as good as the people who work there, and they're only as good as they're treated.
That's right.
And when you have somebody like Vanderbilt behind you, where these people know they are secure, they know they're supported, and they know they're working for the best,
right,
all of a sudden you've got the best hospital.
Well, and you have resources,
yes,
that you couldn't have imagined. You know, it's big, it's huge, as you mentioned, the university and the medical center side. And I think so many people in the community, like you said, have turned to Vanderbilt. Both my parents, my mom has Parkinson's.
Mm-hmm.
She had the deep brain stimulator when she was 80. She had 2 probes in her head. My dad's had all kinds of heart issues. Of course, locally, Dr. Gupta takes great care of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But as far as when he wants somebody else to check a pacemaker or AFib or something, that's where he, you know,
that's where people go.
I've got a family background, and then I know as far as our employees, I think anywhere you go in a hospital, and it's nurses and doctors, they don't get in it for the money.
No, it's a ministry.
It is, and they feel it so much. And of course, with the COVID and pandemic things going on, I mean, they're pushed and strained, and their emotional side, I guess, is more.
Well, you know, we have a lot of people who have passed due to this, and there's no telling. I have a very good friend, had a very good friend who took his own life in his early 90s, and the only way that I can figure out that happened is loneliness.
Right.
During this pandemic thing, where you can't go, you can't touch people, you can't hug, you can't have that personal relationship with folks. And you know, the reason you're here today is about the vaccine program that's going on out at Harton, and you want to let everybody know what's happening, how it's happening, what's going on
how
out
to
there.
Register, yes. That too has been a plus with being part of the Vanderbilt family. We're getting shipments of vaccine, both Pfizer and Moderna. We now have a spot on our webpage, VanderbiltTullahomaHeartandHospital.com, where people can pre-register.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same type form. Of course, the first 1,000 plus folks that we vaccinated was the folks that were on the waiting list with Coffee County Health Department.
Right.
So we worked with Tennessee Department of Health and the Coffee County Health Departments to get those folks taken care of, because they were the 75 plus that started. And I can tell you, as I helped in the clinic, and all I can do is clerical, I don't give any shots, but the folks who came in the wheelchairs, the walkers, the caregivers that were with them, they were so appreciative, because everything they'd seen on the news and television was people in long lines, standing and trying to wait, or chairs, just a chance to get their first vaccination shot. Those folks were so grateful. Of course, now the registration form will be tailored to whatever phase that we're in now, as far as people being qualified to come on in and get it. But now it's 65 plus.
Right.
School teachers, I know they had a vaccination clinic, the health department did, at the high school, but then we contacted the school board and Gina Bumbelow, the teacher, to get the word out that, of course, no matter what you have, everybody can't come at that time.
Right.
You know, there are conflicts. So to encourage those folks to get online. There are a lot of risk-based factors. In addition to, if you don't fit the age base, 65 plus, could have medical conditions now taking care of folks 16 and older, or more or less. You know, it's just so widespread, I can't imagine. And we have some folks who opted out of getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's going to be a bunch of them that do.
But with my parents being 89 and 90, have 5 grandchildren now, ages 3 and under, and then their parent. You know, I have lots of reasons. It's not even selfish for me. Somebody with a mask, I would get so upset to go in local stores, and more than half the people wouldn't have a mask on. Although the signage would say, to enter here, you know, your masks are required, but then they didn't enforce it once you got in the doors.
Well, you know, and you have to look at people trying to keep their business doors open and stay alive.
Right.
You know, they have to make a choice too, and.
But the large box stores are going to make it okay.
Oh yeah.
It's not your mom and pops that I'm talking about.
No.
So I'm passionate about that.
Oh, I know. We all
are. Even though now, I've been vaccinated, gotten both shots. Still, from what I understand, and of course people don't understand, they don't take into account that scientists are still learning as we go along. This is not today they won't have all the answers. But from what I understand, that even though you're vaccinated, I'm vaccinated, I could still have the virus in my nostrils somehow and breathe if I weren't wearing a mask and actually carry it.
Sure.
So,
that's true.
There are reasons that I will be extra careful just because I care.
I know, and we appreciate you and all you've done. And folks, Ava's giving you the info. If you want a shot, you can get a shot. And don't be a fool. I've heard people over the years say, I'm not going out to Hart, and I'm going straight to Vanderbilt. Guess what? Vanderbilt is Hart. You don't have to drive to Nashville and die on the road up there for being stupid. Go to Tullahoma, Vanderbilt, Hart. They are ready to serve you with the finest quality of care that you can find anywhere in this world. Ava, thank you, dear. We appreciate you and all you do.
Thank you.
We'll be back after these messages.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Okay.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and it's springtime. The flowers are blooming. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. And that means there's an opportunity for us to watch our beautiful, beautiful flowers, the blossoms of our town, and our young ladies at Miss Tullahoma.
Right.
And Sharon Woodard's here today to give us some information on Miss Tullahoma 2021.
Right. It's a lot of years it's been going
Yes,
on. I'm not
has.
sure how many at this point. Plus,
A
55
bunch.
plus. Yeah, we're close to 60. I know, maybe over. I'm not sure. So I
Let's
used to know a
see.
few years ago, but it's.
Well, I've been out of high school, let's see, when did I get out? 67, 17s, 50. I've been out of high school 54 years. And it was going on way before that, so it's way past 60, probably 70 or more.
It's over 60, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So what's the skinny?
The scoop is March 27th. We will have Miss Tullahoma. We're kind of trying to figure out still some details. With COVID, the auditorium is limited in size, and we did not know how many girls we were going to have in the pageant, and so our numbers have continued to get a little bit better. They're not as many as they usually are. We've got about 22 maybe. And so we'd love to have more. So if you all
now that's in the Miss Tullahoma.
Miss Tullahoma. Our numbers in the junior Miss are about 17, and 20 is always a good number for that because
right.
Limited time we have for that one. And then the little Miss is about 17, so that's a great number for that.
Well, that's
one
a
too.
good number for the Little Miss.
You know, getting 17 to 20 little tiny girls in a room is tricky. So
that to me, folks, our young women in Tullahoma, in all towns, that's the time when girls just sort of blossom, and they're just so pretty. And they're beautiful to look at, and they're walking across the stage. They're doing something, in my mind, that is, in a way, a rite of passage,
right.
but also it's a test of personal strength.
It is.
Because a lot of these young ladies are scared to death.
Yeah, sure.
They might have issues about confidence in themselves.
Yes.
But they go out there and they walk across that stage. Every one of them is a winner, in my mind, just for the fact that they participated.
Oh, absolutely. It takes bravery and courage to stand up there and walk proud across the stage. And so I'm just always so proud of every one of them that does it. And, you know, the most difficult time for me is when I have to go back and say, okay, you know, there's 10 girls that are going to go back out, or 12 girls or whatever. And those other ones that have done a great job. You know, different thing. I guess, you know, judges look at different things, and to determine who's going to be back out for the question, which is always harrowing, you know,
right,
for a
sure.
lot of them. But they have the questions in advance, so they plan for that.
Right.
And but like you said, it's a win-win for everybody. It's a great day. It's a fun day. We have so much fun putting it together.
The thing I enjoy most, there's two things. One is the little ones.
Right.
The little ones are the cutest things in the world,
Right.
and what they say,
Yes.
what kind of ice cream is your favorite ice cream? Yes. And then they come out and they're in their beautiful little costumes and stuff. The second thing is to watch the young ladies who you just talked about, who aren't in that next 10,
Right.
and how when they come out, I like to watch and see what their attitudes are.
They come out
and they come out
the other girls,
and they're happy.
Yeah, they are. I think
they're
they've had
not,
fun
you know,
doing
you
it.
might see every now and then a couple, one or two that are upset or crying or something, but 95% of them are just glad they had fun, and they're running in there to see the other girls.
It's an experience,
Yeah.
and it does, you know, what I tell my students a lot of times is anything you can do that gives you a different opportunity or perspective to look at something is good for you.
Sure.
And it adds value to you, whatever it may be. You know, they put themselves out there. It's a little more vulnerable than we normally would, you know, let ourselves be. And so I think they always learn something from it. And that's why we do it, you know, because we want to give them that opportunity. So.
But guess what they get?
A day with me.
They get a day with you.
And Miss Crabtree.
And Miss Crabtree. That's fun in itself.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
But they get what they need to walk through the door for the first job interview.
That's it.
They pull up. If I can go across that stage, I can do this.
I can do anything. Yeah, absolutely.
I can walk through this door and talk to somebody I don't know.
Right.
And see if I can get employment.
Yes.
You know, it's just the value, intrinsic value that's there.
Yes.
It's just hard to say how big it is.
Absolutely. And then I spoke about Joanne Crabtree, but just a few weeks later she has DYW, you know, that she does every year. And
Right.
that's another great program.
That's Distinguished Young Women.
Right. And that is a great opportunity for them to interview, you know, to have interviews during the process and learn things about themselves that they did not know. And so again, this is kind of the same thing. So,
Right.
But not as in depth. She does a great job with that program, and we kind of get them ready for the next step. You know, we put them on stage, and then she takes it to the next level.
Right,
so.
to the next level.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it for what now? 20 plus?
About 20, yeah.
About 20
since
years.
I've been there. When I got there, they said, "Would you help?" And I took Tammy Hatfield's place, and I kind of just kept going with it.
And do you have someone who's following in your footsteps right now?
Well, not yet, but I'm looking for somebody.
Yeah. you're looking for a trainee, aren't you?
Macy Mirren has been helping. She's helped the last couple of years, and of course, Miss Crabtree's always there with me. And Amy Sisk has helped quite a bit, and so
I've seen Macy kind of running around.
Macy's
I thought
around,
maybe
so she's helping with cheerleading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to kind of move her into some.
I can see her. She's probably already touched the baton, hasn't she?
Yeah.
You just hadn't turned loose of it yet.
No, if she says I want it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's yours.
I love it. We're so fortunate, and I know it's still a different time in schooling and education, and I want to give a congratulation to all of our folks in our education system for what they've done and to handle the problems that have been put forth by the pandemic and how well we seem to be getting along with the changes that have had to be made, and a lot of them are changes that will probably stay forever.
That's true. We've had to adjust and kind of roll with whatever the opportunities we've had, and everybody's, I think, stepped up and done a great job. So.
Well, I know you have, and I just always appreciate you, and we look forward to being over there, because we've done this for years.
Yes. You all have done it a long time.
Yeah, we've done it a lot. Well, we've done it for almost 30 years. And we want to let all the sponsors out there know we do have sponsorships available. The Miss Tullahoma will replay probably 20 times in the month.
Often when I turn on the TV.
Right, it'll be on at all kinds of different times, and there's also an opportunity to buy DVDs of it if you want to send it to Grandma or something like that. So thanks a lot and good luck, and we look forward to seeing you on the 27th. Okay? All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit, or just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We are here today for segment 81 of the Conversation with John and Pat.
You know we're marching toward 100 someday.
And most mathematicians will say we're only 19 away.
You did that in your head, didn't you?
Quickly.
I'm going to do a sad song. I bet nobody's ever heard it before. If anybody has, let me know, because my brother and I are the only ones I think that know the song.
Are y'all the originators?
Huh?
Are y'all the originators?
No. No,
Okay.
we learned it back in the 60s, and nobody then knew much about it. Come one, come all, to the family reunion, with Mommy and Daddy so sweet. Come one, come all, to the family reunion. It might be the last time we meet. mother is old, she's tired and weary, she can't go another mile. She loves her children and wants them near her, what's more just to see them smile. What good would flowers do, dear Daddy? So why not give them today? While he is still living and loving his children, for Daddy it's better this way. So come one, come all, to the family reunion, with Mommy and Daddy so sweet. Come one, come all, to the family reunion, it might be the last time we meet. Boy, that brings a tear to a glass eye,
really
wouldn't it, Pat?
concentrated on that. You're right.
That is a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song.
And I don't know who did it, but my brother and I, when we were young, we had these big records we sent off for. 33 and a third, and they were.
Oh yeah.
And we wore them out learning those songs because we were learning music back that time, and they were from the old entertainers.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to talk about.
Who's got them? Are they still around?
I've still got them. I've still got the old records.
Well, you need to hold on to that.
I have. It's they.
Have you got a record player still that would play them?
I do. I still have one that's a modern one, but it will do the same thing. We're going to talk about some circus entertainers today. They were with Ringling Brother, Barnum and Bailey, this type thing. It was a family, and they were related to me. And one of there was a father, Walt Patterson, and his daughters, Wendy and Lori Patterson. Lori, they nicknamed Dinky Patterson, so it's sort of interesting that she had a nickname like that.
They're related to your father, right?
They're related on my daddy's side, and
but y'all got circus blood and acrobatic blood in you, because your dad could walk on his hands
he said
about as well as he could his feet.
He said at age 65, I don't think I need to do it anymore.
Yeah,
he just quit. And I had an uncle named Clyde Haynes, and he could do the same thing. They'd get out in the front yard and walk on their hands, just be like a circus out the yard.
You think your mother may have told him that anything past 65 would be showing out and had to quit?
Maybe. But Walt Patterson, he went to the University of Iowa, and he was a medalist in tumbling and some other apparatus. I can't remember what that is right now. But he was always a gymnast. He liked the circus life. And Walt Patterson was for 30 years he was shot out of a cannon. He did all kind of trapeze type work. And Dinky Patterson, though, she's buried back in Chapel Hill. And the family goes back many, many generations, because my great grandmother had a son and a daughter. John and Sarah Patterson had 2 children, Tom, and then my ancestor was Melissa. Well, Tom and Melissa, brother and sister, we go down through that generation, but Tom had a group of people, Tom Patterson, and that's where Walt Patterson finally comes up. And Edgar Patterson lived in Chapel Hill till later on, when Miss Mary Patterson opened a boarding house in Nashville, out on Dixie Place up in Nashville. But anyway, all that said,
well, John, a lot of your dad's and your mother's family is buried at Swanson, the main cemetery in Chapel Hill. Are most of these people that you're talking about?
Yeah. I want to pull up that tombstone there. There's Lori Dinky Patterson. She was only, 43, 41, 43, somewhere in that neighborhood. And a lot of you will remember this, because in 1997, they were preparing for the Super Bowl. And they were going, bungee cord jumping was becoming the thing. People were jumping off bridges and and really enjoying that type thing. And they had 16 performers, and the Pattersons stayed down in Sarasota, Florida, for the most of the winter time, and
well, one of the big circuses came out of there, didn't it?
That's where they wintered.
Brothers?
That's where they wintered, and they got 16 of those circus entertainers to be a part of this bungee cord halftime performance at Super Bowl. Well, they were practicing for this, and Dinky was on her cord, and the first time she jumped, she didn't get to the ground, or close enough to the ground, so they made an adjustment to the apparatus, and then she went all the way down and fractured her skull on the flooring and died. And that tombstone there, she was buried in Chapel Hill. It was hard for me to think how she would be buried in Chapel Hill when she really hadn't ever lived there herself. You know, the family came from there. But I found out that Walt Patterson had a younger brother who had died almost, as soon as he was born, and they bought 5 lots. Mr. Edgar Patterson bought 5 lots, and that little boy was buried in one, and then Edgar and his wife Mary are buried in a couple, and then Walt and Dinky are buried side by side in there. Walt's marriage didn't last real good with his wife, but anyway, they're buried side by side there. And Dinky Patterson.
What part of the cemetery is that? There's an older part. There's furthest from the gates.
It's close to the older part, but it's not. It's in the newer section still.
Okay.
And so we want to remember that. And those girls. Show that other photo, Philip. This is Walt. Can you imagine that? She jumped up in the air, did some sort of somersault or whatever, landed above her dad's head, and he's holding her up with one hand there. Isn't that something?
It is.
Now he did all kind of things in the circus. I think his later days in the circus, he was in setting up and things like that. Maybe he'd gotten older to the point he couldn't do those tricks like he once did. But those girls, I want to say this too about Dinky. When she was buried there at Swanson Cemetery, her dad had built her a rigging box that held all the wiring and all the apparatus she would use in walking a tight rope or whatever. And she asked her dad, "Now, when I pass away, I want to be buried in this rigging box." And she's buried in that rigging box in Swanson Cemetery.
In Swanson Cemetery.
Isn't that something, Pat?
That is something else. Wow.
But that's about the Patterson family. And
well, John, before you close out here.
Yes, sir.
We've been to that cemetery 3 or 4 times. It is really pretty and really historic, and there's a whole lot of history back in there. And you're 5 or 6 years older than I, and if we run the odds out, you as Stonewall Jackson said, you'll probably cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees on the other side. But have you made your wishes known? Would I be able to carry you into the Swanson Cemetery, or?
Oh, Pat, that's a pretty morbid thing to talk about. Well,
I certainly wouldn't want to take anybody as deserved spot. But if we make it to 100.
Well, I know
that segment. 100, surely you.
If I go first, Pat, I'd like for you to speak at my funeral. Although you need somebody with you, like
I
you
do
and
a
I
whole
were
lot better at funerals.
You and I spoke at George Ower's funeral, and a lot of people said it was the best funeral they ever been to.
Several people.
But anyway, that's enough of this, I guess. But may we continue living for a long time. If we don't, we're prepared.
We're ready to go and cross over, as Stonewall said, to the other side and rest among the shade. That finishes segment 81. It was a fine one, but it's not the last one if management will let us continue. Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat. Smoking tobacco
accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
My favorite people in all this world's on this set with me today. Miss Blossom Merriman from Mortrace, and she is a curator of the museum at South Jackson Civic Center. We're so blessed to have you because you have put the stuff out that nobody else would even look for. What's going on now?
What is going on? Well, we're getting back in the groove and up and running again, because
happy about that.
We've all been shut down. Let's face it. We have been shut down, locked up.
Absolutely.
And our wheels don't exactly turn
right.
in the right direction. And we just got to get up and
start moving.
Get interacting a little bit without disrupting the rules, because we know this is not over thing yet.
Right.
We're in this pandemic and we're going to be in it for a while longer.
By the way, I love your earrings and your pen. You got a little St. Patrick going on.
I have got the saint on my side today. I even have my leprechaun socks on here. But anyway, we've got some longtime folks that have been doing the museum, and I just want to mention that besides myself, Greg Klein is the only original member that we still have. And Anita and Vince Zicardi are so good to assist
awesome
in
people.
Everything. And our other team here is Melissa and Jeremy Hendricks, and they quite often open.
And they're kind of a new team.
Yeah,
you may
not know them, but they've been in shows.
Yeah.
Yes, and their daughter Violet has been in a number of things. And so we so appreciate them. I wanted to thank them up front because I didn't want to run out of time and not get in my people
sometimes
here.
It's hard to get volunteers. So
good gosh.
It's wonderful when you can have volunteers.
When we have a show open for 4 or 5 days in a row, that means somebody has to go every day and be there. And we start generally before the show at about 40 minutes before the show, like about a quarter after, if you would like to arrive and go down.
And that's
get the lights on,
at 7.
and the show is at 7.
At 6:15.
And then maybe we will have an intermission, and some shows do not have an intermission.
And if you've tuned in for the first time and you don't know where this place is, it is on South Jackson Street, and the museum is, after you come in the front door, you just go straight back, and there's some wonderful things in there.
And South Jackson is the original school building.
Yeah,
is still standing there.
What was the date? Do you?
And the building that has been incorporated inside of it is the original building.
Right.
Most of those walls have been covered up now, but they were old brick, and we still have a few of the Tullahoma history books.
And what was the date of that school?
1886.
1886.
1886. And there were private schools in Tullahoma, and one of them was Fitzgerald and Clark.
Oh, really?
And I've just discovered that Wallace Wade, who coached their football team, lived in Tullahoma, and his name is up on Wade Stadium at Duke University all over the place. And I thought, where do I know that from? And I started poking around, and sure enough, he was our guy that was the coach of Fitzgerald and Clark. And that was, like I say, that building is long gone. It was stood on East Lincoln Street for many years. It was brick. And one day they just took a bulldozer and knocked it down, and historic preservation went but South Jackson was, quote, saved for the purpose that it still is, which is a civic center, a museum, and a place to get to know what's going on.
Right, and
and we do things out on the grounds.
Yeah.
If you really don't want to be nose to nose with people, we are going to do some things this
And sometimes
summer.
we rent rooms, or we rent the stage.
We do rent the stage. We'll rent you anything but the museum. But
And I want to throw in that there is a songwriting workshop. We're opened up for that in the annex, which is next to the office at South Jackson, and it starts at 11 till 1 o'clock Saturday. And anyway, there's two of those, but this Saturday is the first one. So
yes,
if you're
that's
interested in writing a song, show up there.
There you go. And members of our board, both the operations board, who run the building pretty much, and the executive board, which tries to raise money and to keep on top of the rules and regs and so forth. And they come down sometimes and pinch it. All you have to do to host at the museum is just be sure the door is open and shut, and be sure that the lights are off. That's the most critical thing. And actually, a house manager might come and do that. Anyway, every
so if somebody's interested in volunteering,
every evening is a different call as far as what we do. So if you want to come and get some experience,
what if somebody has it hanging around in their house, some heirlooms or something that might be of interest to the museum, what should they do?
They should get a form, and if they want to donate, they need a gift form.
They get the form from the office.
Yes, and it's just, and museum has them. In fact, we made all new stacks of forms and loan forms and gift forms, and Anita Zaccardi took them to the office. And so there are some in there. And if you don't put something on there, like your name, address, and contact information, and what have you brought?
Right.
Number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I get a bowl full of stuff and it's 6 items that are all mixed up, and I don't know who gave them, I don't know who to call if I need that information. You know, and we will label it or we will not label it at your request, one or the other. Some people don't like that.
What is your favorite thing to collect?
Gosh.
I know you're a collector of all things.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that catches my eye every time I come in, and that is the dirigible that is framed in the actual framework of our dirigible.
That's
and
awesome.
It was given as the best filling station in Tullahoma way back in 1920 or 50 or something, and it was the Mitchell service station. That's how we got it.
That's how we got it.
And so it came to the museum, and I said, "Holy cow! Look at this!"
Well, I know there's a lot of World War II pictures,
yes,
and there's so much history in Tullahoma.
There's so many things. There's so many things
about the war years.
We have 2 big rooms full of more than you can see in 15 minutes, which is what a typical intermission might be.
So if somebody wants to bring a group in, what do?
They call a civic center and tell them what day they want us to try to accommodate them. And if we are not in a mess back there fixing something, we will make an arrangement. Please call weeks ahead of time. If you're going to bring a group of 30 or 40 people, number one, they can't all really maneuver too well. We are ADA compliant, though.
And
that is
important.
Required, and it is down a long hall, so you may have to skate. No, we'll get you down there. We'll get you there.
The museum would take willingly donations.
Yes, we do.
Because
we take donations.
Takes money to keep everything
we do.
orderly.
We need money, and we need items that are historically important. And we will house it if we can right where we are, and if we can't, we'll have to rotate out somewhere.
Well, Blossom, we're going to get cut off any minute now. I'm so glad you came, and I'm so glad you wore yellow and your green stuff. You look so pretty sitting up here on this
set. I
set.
actually knitted this, and I made this shamrockets on the other side.
We'll be back.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm so glad today to have a young friend of mine back in the set with us, and that's Colin Sharan. And what an incredible young man he is. He's a movie producer, video producer, creative young genius in our town, and just an all-around good kid. And the first thing that you did, maybe not the first thing, but of acclaim, was My Friend Carl.
Correct. Yes.
That was what, last year that it came out, and how many awards did it win?
Well, it won one award, but we were selected in 5 different film festivals across the United States.
That's an award.
I guess so.
I was almost nominated for a Grammy one time, and just to be almost nominated for a Grammy, there's not a whole lot of people get that.
You're right.
It's an award in itself. It's even to be looked at and somebody say, yeah, this is good. And these are not just anybody. It's not people walking down the street. These are people who know. And so now you're out with another project, and tell us about that project.
All right, so my new project's called Walls for Women. It highlights the Tennessee Public Art Festival that took place last year across the state of Tennessee. And the mission was kind of to bring murals and art to these small towns that didn't necessarily have art.
Right.
But the main goal and the catch was that the walls were for women, because it highlighted the 100th year of the 19th Amendment being ratified.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it gave women this opportunity to have creative expression and creative freedom to paint what they wanted to, because female muralists are rare. And
so were all of the muralists females?
They were, yes.
That's outside. I was going to ask that question, if any men painted a wall for women, but all of them were women artists.
All of the main muralists were female. There were a few male assistants.
Right.
But the whole premise of the festival was that these walls would be given to these women to paint.
And about women.
Mm-hmm.
It's outstanding.
Right.
So how much travel did you do with this?
Quite a bit of travel. And to be honest, it was quite hard. I just started my senior year in high school when I started traveling across the state.
Right.
I went to 4 or 5 different cities across Tennessee, all the way from Knoxville to Martin, Tennessee, up near the Kentucky border.
Right.
And it was hard. Every weekend in August, I was gone filming this documentary. But
so you hopped in your car and took off?
Exactly.
By yourself?
Well, I went with my mom or my dad or my neighbor. They're pretty much my crew.
Right.
So I got them to tag along, and we made a whole weekend out of whatever trip we were on.
Did you stay off the interstate?
We took the back roads mainly.
So wasn't that wonderful?
Oh, it's fun.
Because this is places you'd never been before.
Right. Well, I hadn't been to Knoxville.
Oh yeah,
but I hadn't been to Maryville, which was one of the murals. I hadn't been to Martin either.
Right.
And that was a long drive. So we just kind of enjoyed the ride there. We didn't see it as work. We saw it as
a vacation.
A vacation, right.
Yeah, you're taking a weekend trip, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's a beautiful state.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So how many of these artists did you meet?
I met every single one of these artists. There were 7 muralists, 14 total assistants as well, but the 7 main muralists I all met in every single city. And the cool thing was they're from all over the United States. I think there's one from Tennessee. But I met people from Florida and Oklahoma City and Ohio. So it was really cool to meet all these people.
Well, and that's what your documentary is about. So we're gonna before we get into the meat of this, we're gonna make a plug right now. We're gonna make an ask several times during this. People will have an opportunity to see this when?
Well, this Saturday, March 20th, at 7 p.m. People can watch anywhere, at their home, at work, but I don't know why they'd be at work on Saturday, 7 p.m.
Hey, a lot of people work on Saturday. When do you not work?
Never.
If it's on a day, if you can get to something on the day, it doesn't make a difference what day it is, does it?
Right.
It's your job.
I agree.
It's in your own mind, this is your job.
It's
this
passion.
is your life,
Mm-hmm.
your passion.
Right.
So, and if you're doing what you love, you're not working anyway.
I agree. Yeah.
So Saturday.
Tickets are on my website, colinsharan.com, and there's a fee to them that just helps me with future productions. It also helps me host the premiere online, completely online, unfortunately, as long as COVID rolls out. But when it warms up, hopefully we'll have an in-person event. But anyway,
well, you know, it would be good to do it again down at South Jackson, do an outdoor event down there. Because outdoors you can be socially distanced, and I heard somebody say the other day it might go from 6 feet to 3 feet.
Yeah.
So that will help in our productions, the facilities of being able to get more people in.
And I totally believe in outdoor movies. There's something about it that just makes it better than any other movie.
Yeah, we loved going to the drive-in when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So okay, how many you were on the road every weekend? How many of these artists painted in more than one town?
Well, for this festival specifically, these muralists were assigned to one town, but they have done so many other murals in other towns, so they've been all over the U.S. painting murals. But for this project, they were in one town.
And that's all. Somebody who does that, that's all they do, pretty much.
Yeah. That's their job.
That's their passion is doing walls and
big murals
and murals. So, what was your big learning experience out of this, Colin?
Well, I like to think there's a learning experience in every project, but this one especially, it's talking to people, listening to people's stories. Like I learned in my previous film, My Friend Carl, I learned that even more in this project because I had met people I'd never met before, never talked to before, and I had to...
From a town you'd never been in before.
Right, and I had to talk about something that I personally was not an expert on, which was women's suffrage and the whole reason behind this movement.
Did you read up on women's suffrage some?
I did, and then I read a few history books on it, read a few articles online, and actually I learned a lot from everybody I talked to, telling me more about it. And
so that was a big deal right there, learning that. How long when you go into a town? I know you say you're a weekend, so you're at Martin and you're there. How much time do you get to spend with that artist and for conversation and? You know, because they're working.
Right. Well,
did you set it up ahead of time? Did you contact these people?
I did.
Who helped you do that?
I did it all myself. So pre-production pretty much started in March of last year, and I had until late July to plan everything out. That means talking to every muralist ahead of time, getting to know them a little bit better before I talk to them, preparing locations to film in each city. That's hard. Figuring out where we're going to film an interview, and then just coordinating where I'm going to be at what time, and so they can meet me there. That was hard. I did it all myself though, but I had a good amount of time to do it.
Right.
And
it's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's fun to
it is
coordination of all that, and it was hard to coordinate all that, but it was very interesting how it all came together. I mean, we just sat down and talked to people.
Now we have the one. We just have the one in Tullahoma, right?
One of the walls for women was in Tullahoma. Yes.
Right, and that's in the alley downtown.
Behind Memories Antiques, yes.
Behind Memories Antiques, which you know, you can see in when the trees aren't blooming coming down Jackson Street. If you just happen to be at the red light, coming at the Methodist Church, and you glance over to the right, you look back over there and you go, "Wow, what's that back there?"
You can see it, yeah.
And that somebody coming into town who's not in a rush to get somewhere might go, "Look at that. We need to turn right here and go see what that is."
I encourage everybody to go see it. I mean, there's just something about public art. It's for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, these artists know that. This is for everybody. I'm doing this for everybody to see for free.
Right.
And it's not about getting...
I bet they love you. The artists love you.
They did. They were very complimentary and stuff, but
I mean, it gives them a prop up. Mm-hmm. You know, it's advertising their passion.
Right. And that was part of the whole goal of this project, was to give these muralists a chance to showcase themselves.
Tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
That's outstanding, my friend. What's next?
Oh, I have tons of projects planned, and I would love to do them all, but right now it's just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do.
Do with this,
right?
Get this to the point that it, and you know, that's something that most. How old are you?
Just turned 18 less than a month ago.
You know, there's not many 18-year-olds who can develop an idea, take it from start to finish. You know, my whole thing is there's not too many closers in this world. Anybody can be a starter. And a lot of people can take it maybe to the next level. Just, you know, and then they get bored with it, and that's okay because they've come up with a good idea.
Right.
And they've put the bones in, but they can't flesh it out. So they pass it off to somebody else, and somebody else, you know, takes that because they're good at doing that. But you're sitting here, you're doing all of it.
Correct.
You're doing all of it, even to planning what theater it's going to be in when it's all over with. And not everybody has the desire, the will, or the talent
people ask
to
me how
that.
I do that, and I do everything from planning to, like you said, marketing. I design every poster for marketing. I put it online everywhere. And people always ask me, and I guess the answer is just find your drive.
Why not?
I have a drive, a motivation to do it.
Yeah, why not?
Right, you know, and it's not just me who can do it, it's anybody who can do it. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the big messages in this film is that it doesn't matter who you are, you can do what you want to do. You know, these young females watching these muralists paint walls, they're like, well, I want to be an artist one day. Well, you can
be one.
You can be an artist. And that's the whole message I want to share. You don't have to just be an artist, whether it's business, athletics, science, even art. You can be one.
But no matter how smart you are, no matter how much talent you have, no matter how educated you are, the first thing you've got to do is to show up.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to show up. And the one thing I was going to say a minute ago, not everybody can be a starter. Very few people can be a closer. You've got to take it to the end. Mm-hmm. You can't say, oh, well, John, come do this. I'm tired of it. Daddy, come do this. It's yours. You got to own it, and you've got to take it from start to finish.
Right.
It's your song.
Mm-hmm.
It's on tape.
Yeah.
It's on tape. It's your song.
Right.
And somebody is going to love it. There'll be somebody that'll have something to say about it that they don't like, but let them listen to another song. It's your song.
Yeah.
And you've done a great job in sharing your creativity with us as a town.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Now, Saturday,
7 p.m. You have all night, 5 hours to watch it.
All night, you can watch it over
and over again. It's an hour long, so you can watch it theoretically 5 times.
5 times.
So this Saturday on my website, ColinSharan.com, go buy a ticket and hope to get more ticket sales.
All right. Thank you, my young friend.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very, very proud of you and appreciate you spending time with us.
I appreciate it.
Okay. We'll be back in a minute, folks.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Session, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and we have about a minute to close up. And
that was a nice interview.
Colin's a great young man. What an outstanding young individual. He'll be out in Hollywood if he wants to be, or Hollywood will come to him. That place might slide off into the ocean. You know, you never know where the next big thing is. Well, I know where it is. It's right here in Tullahoma. It's Colin Sharan.
I'll agree with you.
He's the next big thing in my mind.
Well, are you doing okay?
Yeah, I made it through. Made it through. Didn't fall off the stage. Didn't pass out. Feel pretty good. I'm gonna go get in my chair back there in a minute, and I'm gonna feel better.
Pass out.
No, I won't pass out. Have things to do.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
Got to try to find some more sponsors for the Miss Tullahoma contest. So if you want to be a sponsor, and it's real simple to do, just give me a call, 581-5238. And the sponsorships for Miss Tullahoma and the Tullahoma THS graduation, if you buy one, it's $100. If you buy them both, it's $150, and they'll play forever and ever. Amen. Thanks for being with us today, Peg, my sweet sister. It's been a pleasure to be with you again. Okay, we'll be back next week.